Okay, I want to say welcome. Welcome to this video. In this video, I want to just talk about martial arts, Kung Fu in particular. Okay, Kung Fu, Kung Fu. Chinese martial arts, which I have a much deeper background in. Even though I started my martial arts journey of learning with karate and kickboxing. Later on, I started to learn Kung Fu systems from different teachers, and I've taken on so much knowledge, bare hand skills, and some weapon skills too. But it's a knowledge, and it's really deep. I'm about to turn 41 in a couple of weeks' time, and I started my martial arts training when I was 12. However, even if we look at the formal training that I've done and all of the deep lone training that I've done too by myself, all of my martial arts, I would say I've been training martial arts my whole life because I've been through a lot of difficulties since I was a young child. Now, I'm not here to boast about any ability. You know, the toughest fighters in the world can come unstuck. You know, anyone can hurt and possibly even kill someone if you're talking about real hard combat. Nobody is invincible, and people can be taken unawares, unaware and caught off guard, and they have weak points. But I just want to talk about something briefly to you guys, okay? So when you look at me, I'm a Western guy, right? A white, English, Caucasian guy. But my whole life I've been inspired and influenced by the traditional martial arts or the Oriental martial arts, mostly from China. And I've put so much dedication all of my life into physical training and mental training. Now, I'm not here to tell everybody that I'm a master or try to pretend that I'm Chinese or I'm part of some lineage or I have such an amazing background, top level or whatever, or I'm close to whatever masters or senseis or sifus in the world. It's not the point, okay? And that I know the real deal and I can show you the ways how to fight that you'll never get hurt, Skinny guy like me, skinny weak guy, you might say by looking at me. I'll say I'm slim and strong in my own build. There is no competition, and often it's not about power. When sometimes technique is a skill. Is the power. You need an amount of skill and power, obviously, in martial arts, but I'm not going to talk about that here either. I'm just going to say something briefly here, okay? It's funny to think, you about judging people when you're looking at people a certain way. Like, you can't judge a book by its cover. Myself, and I know this video is like me, but I'm going to say something, okay, here, because you'd be surprised. People need to humble themselves, and when you can learn from all people around the world, you really can learn something from people. Well, I'm not a master of any one system of the martial arts, okay, any Kung Fu system. Let's put it this way, anyone else's system. And there is no style, any system even, that is the master. A set of techniques, the best style. That could be argued, but there really isn't. Different tools work for different situations, and it's the same for every individual technique as well, every technique. So I want to just say this, okay, here. I'm not the master of someone else's system. For me to say I'm the master of myself now sounds better, right? No, I'm on the path of self-mastery. Self-mastery which can never be attained. It's not the end. The end is literally the end. Life is ongoing, like the Tao, the flow of yin and yang. And all the philosophy there, but it's the truth of nature. The end is death, right? And wasted energy is spent energy. That's also the end. So we want to cultivate energy, and we want to avoid fights the best we can, really. But in the fighting part of the martial arts, and even in this, the training in general of martial arts, okay, I'm not the master of that. I keep repeating that, okay? But I'm on the path of self-mastery. The path, the walking of the path is the mastery itself, okay? And I was going to say that perfection is in the fact that something's not finished. Perfection is unfinished. Is without limit. Perfection is without limit, and you can only be without limit as in have ongoing. You can only be without limit as in there's an ongoing, infinite. Possibly amount of development that can be achieved if you are limited. You can only be without limit if you have limit. Meaning there's a limit to my level. No matter how far I walk down this path, it never ends. And my training is ongoing, my learning is ongoing. There are always new days to come of this life. And so this is self-mastery, when you are always in that place of just content with yourself, but doing the best you can, not trying to achieve or prove things necessarily to others. By being the master of the self, by working with what you have. You want to water this garden. You don't want to take your water elsewhere and water somebody else's garden for the sake just to, and be told that, you're closer to the king, you're closer to the lineage of whatever system. That's not even the thing. Now, what do I know about my martial arts in terms of my training? Well, I teach mostly Wing Chun, okay, which is Yung Chun Chuan, okay, Yung Chun, which is Wing Chun, okay. I teach mostly that when I teach people. I'm not an expert on anyone else's system, as I say, but I teach a full system. I don't teach the forms. And I know forms are good, don't get me wrong, but I know it's like important stuff, but I just teach the system with the techniques, the main techniques, and practice a lot of sparring, real self-defense techniques for anyone of any build, so they can use and apply technique, and skill. And we do the sticky hands and all of that stuff. I also like to teach extra things that I've learned in the past, like the tiger and grain systems. And I show how you can flow these in, even with some Tai Chi as well, some Tai Chi. Applicable movements. But I've done a lot of martial arts in my life. I have a lot of respect for other arts too, like Japanese arts, like Aikido and Ninjutsu, which I haven't studied formally, those, but I've looked at them, they're good. And I'm just saying, okay, look, you have to be without limit, and you have to know that there are always more things, and you are always at limit. You are always at limit, so it means you are always at no limit. It doesn't mean that you are limited. It means that there's more for you to gain. But by beating everyone down, you can't learn from them. And not only beating them down, but even with your eyes, your bad attitude, judging people. When you look at someone and you think you know the whole story, this person's not a kung fu master, expert, or this person, you can clearly maybe even see that you're stronger or whatever it might be. But there are things that you are failing to get. You reject someone or you reject the whole idea because of one part of it. One thing about that person you don't like. And you see it as a flaw, something missing, right? But you forget that there are 99 things, most likely, most likely, that you could gain from that by studying with that person and humbling yourself. learning with others. So me being a lifelong practitioner of Kung Fu, I'm always happy to share with people. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, okay? You might see a piece of coal, and if you rub it up, you never know. You might find a gold nugget, And just because people are not talking about things doesn't mean that there aren't more stories that exist. Thank you for watching. Peace.